Hello everybody, today we're fixing an iPhone 8. So with an iPhone 8, the first thing you want to do is you want to go through the phone, make sure everything is working properly, test it, test the home button, test the volume buttons, make a phone call, make sure the proximity sensor up here is working perfectly fine. Once you do with that, you're going to want to get yourself a 0.8 pentalobe screwdriver, which I have here, a Phillips head screwdriver, small one, and a tri-tip screwdriver. You're also going to want to have a pry tool of sorts, and you can use heat, or if you want, if you don't have a heating pad, or even like a hair dryer would work. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to take out these two screws down here at the bottom. Next thing you want to do is you want to get your pry tool, and you're going to want to, well, if you want to heat it up first, you heat it up at this point as well. We want to get your pry tool, and you go underneath, find the lip of the screen, get it underneath, and you're going to want to go around the edges. Don't go in too deep because there is cables on this side over here, on the right side of the phone, so you don't want to cut those cables. You want to go around, and you want to cut that glue a little bit, make it easier to lift the screen off the phone. And you should be able to just pull it right up. You want to separate it. You might have to put a little angle on it to the top parts out because they do go inside, and you just open it like a book. From here, you're going to need your Phillips head, and you're going to take out these 4 screws to show. That will basically allow you to see unhook the battery and unhook this cable right here on the screen. So now once you have that taken off, you go ahead and you want to pull up this plug first. This is the battery connector. You want to pop that up so it gets rid of all the battery power to the phone. Just want to pull up a little bit to the outside so it's out of the way. And you can go ahead and you can pull up these 2 cables right here attached to the phone. You can use your pry tool if you want, you can use your fingernail, either one works as long as you don't damage anything, you should be fine. So just be careful. Alright, so now that that's up, we go ahead and we can unscrew the 3 screws here. There's one up top by the camera, one right here, and then one in the back over here. So once you have that taken off, you can go ahead and get your pry tool again, pop off this last cable, and now your phone is separated from the screen and the base. Put the base off to the side, you don't need that for right now, and you have just a screen. Because there is a couple things we're going to be able to take off on the screen. So the first thing we're going to worry about is we're going to take off the home button, because you're going to transfer the home button over to your new screen. So for this, you're going to need a tri-ring screwdriver. And you're going to unscrew, there's 4 screws, one here, 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 and here. So you go ahead and unscrew those. So what you're going to do now is you're going to undo this connector here. Get in between and just go ahead and separate it. You might have to use another tool to hold it down. There you go. Next thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to heat up this cable here so that the adhesive is easier to separate. Once you do that, you can go ahead and you can start prying the, there we go, sorry about that. You can start prying the cable up. So you want to be careful with this. This one I didn't have to actually heat up, thankfully, because I think the screen has been fixed before. So there wasn't as much adhesive as there was the first time. So, and once that's pried up, all you do is just push the home button out the front and it'll fall right out. Put that off to the side, you'll need that later. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is get your Phillips head back out, and you're gonna wanna unscrew, there's about 5-6 screws here. You're gonna undo this one here, this one right here, there, and there. Alright, take all those screws, put it all to the side, take the metal piece off the top to go to the side, pull up the camera, and this is going to be your speaker. Take that, put that to the side for now unless you're replacing it. And here you're going to want heat as well. And I do apologize for the noise you may hear. I'm going to try and edit it out, but if I can't get it all out, you may hear we do have a karate studio next door and they are doing a class session right now. So I do apologize for that. Like I said, let me know down in the comments below if you still hear it or if I was able to do a good job and edit that out. Thank you. So now you want to do here, you want to heat this up if you have to, and then use your pry tool to slowly pull up this cable. Thankfully for this one, because it has been done before, it's a little bit easier to get up. Once that's out, go ahead and put that to the side as well. And you should be done with everything coming off the screen. For some phones, you might have to take off this back plate here and put it on the new screen, depending on what kind of screen you got. The one I have shouldn't have to do that. Now, grab your screen. I have mine right here. Mine comes with the ring of adhesive as well to put around the phone, the base of the phone when we get to that point. So put that to the side. You want to grab your phone screen, put the old one to the side, throw it away, whatever you want to do with it. And we're going to start putting the pieces back on. But before we get to that, now before you get to the second half of this video, if you're getting anything out of this video, please don't forget to like the video down below. If you think someone else may get something out of this video, please go ahead and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, as well as other content we'll have in the future. So now the next thing you want to do is going to peel off this blue tape. You're basically going to do what we just did, but in reverse order. Then you want to get your camera and your proximity sensor, the big cable that we took off last. And you want to put that back on to the phone. Then you can go ahead and grab your speaker, this little guy, and put it back. And put it back in. You have these metal pins. Focus. You can see them right here. That go on the metal pads on your cable. You're gonna line those up properly. Then you're gonna sit your camera back in its slot. Then grab your metal cover that goes over the camera. Hold the camera in. Now once you have that, you can grab your screws and start screwing these back in. Be careful if you could try, it might be too late to say this now, but keep track of your screws. Some of the screws are different size. But if you didn't keep track of your screws, just the longer screws will go into the holes that basically look like they're further away from the screen. If you put the bigger screws in one of the smaller holes, you can actually damage the screen. So you do want to be careful with that. So the next part, we're going to want to put in the home button. So you can go ahead and you're going to feed this back through from the front to the back. Line that up properly, get it even in there, and you put the plastic, as plastic on the back, on the front I mean, so you can put it back against that and it holds it in. And from here you're going to want to pull up the connector flap so it goes on top, and you're going to just connect them back together. There you go. Now you can go ahead and get the cover for the cables. Seat that back on top. And then get your tri-wing and start screwing that back in. That's what it should look like before you put it back together. So now what you want to do, clean up your area, get your base back, and you're going to want to carefully reattach the cables, starting with the top cable because it's going to be the easiest to put in now. Easier to put in now than later. Alright, now put the two bottom ones in. These two cables are for the screen and the LCD and the digitizer, which is the touch. Once those are back in, you plug the power button back on. Now this part here, what you can do is you can either close it, don't close it all the way, test it, make sure everything's working properly so you don't have to take it apart all again. Or if you think you did it well and you just want to put it back together, you can just go ahead and start putting everything back in. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to put everything back in. If I have to take it apart, I'll take it apart again off camera. That's not a big deal. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the cover for the top. We're gonna put that on first. Alright, now you put the bigger one on. Now this one will have 2 longer screws. Those longer screws are going to go in this one here. The bigger hole, the 2 bigger holes, the 2 bigger screws. Alright, and then you're done screwing everything back in. You're gonna put the screen back in. You're gonna put the top in first because there is hooks there sometimes. So it's easy to put the phone first, and then you just gently push down around the phone until it seats properly, until it's all the way down. Now, an issue that occurs with these phones sometimes, which looks like it's occurring with this phone, is there is a part on the screen, I'm sorry, there's a part on the screen. Pry this back open real fast to show you guys. There's a part on the screen right here. This guy right here can hit this when you're trying to push it down, but it's supposed to fit right, and there's a little gap right here. So you may need to, when you're putting this back in, push that piece up with a tool from underneath while you're trying to close it, so it can sit in the spot properly. Alright, and you're all done. That's how you fix an iPhone 8. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll put the parts that I have here down in the description below if you need them. Hey guys, have a good day.